Listen, I hear you. I'm on the same page as you. You're looking for a dryer vaporizer that not only does dry herbs well, but also can vaporize your concentrate well. And guess what? You just found it. Hi, Heather. Hello. How are you? I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day so far. Today, we are going to be digging into the latest upgrade to the utillian line of vaporizers. This is the utillian 723. But before we dig into this, we need to talk about the different elephants in the room. For one, I tried curling my hair today. Did it turn out? I don't know. For two, yes, this is looking like the old background. This is the old desk here because do you see what's happening over here? We're actually starting to build out this part of the office. So it does feel a little bit like a construction zone. It's probably gonna feel like this for a couple weeks because if you know me, the only thing I do quickly is talk, and this is gonna take me a little while to figure out. I am trying to build in my own, build in my own cabinets into the wall, and am I a carpenter? I absolutely am not. I wanted to turn out perfect so bad, but I know that while we are doing this, we're also doing it elevated in every step of the process. And the end result, it's supposed to look like this. It's questionable. Can I pull this off? I'm not sure. The power of weed really makes me believe that I can kind of do anything, which is really the primary thing that we do here on this channel. Hi, my name's Chrissy. If you're new here, maybe hit subscribe. There's a little subscribe button down there. When I say hit the subscribe button, I think it turns up rainbow. When I say like this video, I think the thumbs up turns up rainbow. I do all sorts of cannabis reviews, from devices to consumables, vlogs, and everything in between. If that is your jam, please consider hitting subscribe before you leave. I truly appreciate it. Love to have you here as a bestie for the long haul. The only way you will get notified of these videos though is if you are 18 and older. You should be 18 or older because this here is for the adults. You also need to be signed into your YouTube account because it is an age restricted video, and you have to turn your notifications on in order to get notified for it because this is considered sensitive content. So in order to get the notification, you basically have to ask for it. It doesn't follow any other YouTube rules because of the type of content we're making here, but I'm so glad you're here hanging out. Let's dig into this thing. This is the 723 from Utillian. And if you're not new here, you already know how we do tech reviews. First, we're going to unbox this thing. Then we're going to sesh through all of the features. You better believe we're doing flower and dabs today. Go ahead and get your sesh ready. In the end, we're going to clean it up. At the end of this video, you're going to know anything and everything there is to know about the Utillian 723. Let's get to unboxing. The box will include the Utillian 723 vaporizer, and first impression, this thing is huge. My little girl hands might be making it seem larger than it is. That's definitely happened before holding other things too, so I just stay aware. Hiding underneath this is a false bottom with a load of accessories. The form and function guide, a set of 3 each replacement screens and gaskets, the new wax canister, a stirring loading tool, a chamber cleaning brush, and I love that they always include a long USB to USB-C charging cable. The Utillian 723 was designed to be a handheld portable vaporizer. It has a durable aluminum body wrapped in a soft, almost rubber-like finish and comes in both black like I have here and gunmetal. It has an improved zirconia straw, LED temperature indicators, and the side has the only button needed to use this device. The mouthpiece is magnetic, and the chamber is also massive. It definitely matches up with the overall size of the device. And the bottom has the battery life indicator as well as the USB-C charging port. I'm guessing since you're already here, you're into dry herb vaping to some extent, but if not, let me tell you the pros. Let me tell you the changes that I've seen in my life real quick before we dig into this. I seriously thought that I had a cold for about 9 months. I was constantly congested. I've taken so many different medicines for it, thinking it could be allergies, maybe it was a cold, maybe it was just congestion, maybe it was a sinus infection. Literally none of it stopped until I stopped smoking out of a bong regularly. I still do infrequently, I still do randomly, and when I do, I can tell immediately after that I have all of the congestion again. It's like a mucus that is built up to protect your throat against the harshness of the bong maybe. I don't know, it's your body's reaction to combustion, but it is not good for you. I've switched to dry herb vaping and my cold went away magically. It probably took like 2 weeks after making the switch for me to really see and feel and notice the differences in it. We know that the combustion is not good for you, but the one thing that I cannot get away from is dabs. God, I love dabs. I love a dab so freaking hard. So a dry herb vaporizer for me personally, and something that I'm going to regularly use in my collection, needs to be able to do both. It needs to be good at doing both. It needs to be easy to do both. And that's why we're reviewing this one today, because it does that. So we're gonna dig into this. I'm gonna show you all of the sessions, all of the features. This is the best part of the video. And I know I'm a broken record with this, but it needs to be said so the newbies know, because this isn't something that's ever in a user manual, and I don't want them making newbie mistakes. When you get a new device, you need to charge it all the way. It's not legally allowed to be sent to you with a full charge, so you need to charge it up all the way for the long longevity of the battery life, and you need to do a burn off cycle. And then the burn off cycle is taking off the mouthpiece, turning it on to the hottest temperature, let it run through a full sesh, and it'll burn off any of the manufacturing residue that could be like trapped inside the device. Take a little Q-tip, wipe it out. You are clean and you are good to go. All together, it's probably gonna take you like 30 minutes to get it set up the very first time you use it, charging it and the burn off cycle, but then you're ready to go. And I know it's really hard to wait for that, but if you don't do that, your battery is gonna die sooner, the device isn't gonna last forever, and it's also gonna taste really terribly like chemicals when you take your first hit. It'll literally ruin your very first bowl, let alone is probably super unhealthy for you. Please don't inhale manufacturing residue. Now that we have that out of the way, let's load this thing. Go ahead and grab whatever it is that you're seshing on. We can sesh together. This is what I have today. I'm going to be mixing a couple different things. I have some OG Chem in here, some beautiful OG Chem, but then also I just finished grinding up some CBG flour because I need it to have a little bit of a balance. It's in the middle of the day. I'm gonna do a little 50-50 because I feel like the OG Chem is gonna bring me down a little bit and I don't want it to, but CBG, it's non-intoxicating. It'll cut the bowl because this bowl is freaking massive. And I will be so lit by the end of this video if we are just loading straight THC into that. But the CBG is nice because it's uplifting. To load it, remove the mouthpiece by either lifting or twisting this off. This will expose the heating chamber. I love that it has a huge funnel space, making this super easy to load in comparison to most other dryer vapes I've ever tested. This might actually be the easiest. Dump your pre-ground flour into the chamber. Tap the side gently with a knuckle to settle it. You want it to be fully in the chamber and not spilling out over into the funnel area. If you do have some extra, do not pack it down, just dump the extra back into your grinder. Since this is a convection vaporizer, we need there to be good airflow through the herb in order to extract the most amount of cannabinoids from it. And packing it down will prevent that from happening. To turn it on, it's 5 quick clicks within 2 seconds. It'll immediately start heating up, so adjust your temperature right away and it'll lock that in for the next sesh. There are 4 pre-programmed heat settings, and you can cycle through them by double-clicking the button. Green is 356 Fahrenheit, blue is 374 Fahrenheit, purple 392 degrees, and red is 410 degrees Fahrenheit. But it also has a boost mode that'll boost the temperature to 437 degrees to finish out a bowl or to extract the last bit of your wax. Okay, the first bowl we're going to do is going to be on the lowest. We're gonna start it at the lowest, 356 degrees, the green. It's gonna pulsate as it's heating up. Once it turns solid, then we know we're good to go and we can start taking our hits. First one's always a little weak in a dryer vaporizer. It builds from there until it starts to decline. That's when you know your bowl is cashed. So as you're taking your hit, the light also pulses. See, second hit already. Dry herb vapes are built for sipping, not ripping, so try to take slower, longer hits. I aim for 8 to 10 seconds per pull. The sesh timer is already pre-programmed at 7 minutes, and on lower temps, the flour can last a full 7-minute sesh, allowing you to take sip after sip, but even better to share with someone or in a group sesh. Now, of course, the lowest temperature is going to give us the best flavor, the least amount of vapor. As we climb that temperature scale, it's going to tilt where we end up at red with the most amount of vapor, the least amount of flavor possible, and anything in between is like a decently good balance. You can change your temperature mid-sesh, so let's upgrade it quickly to blue. Blue brought us from 356 degrees to 374 degrees. Let that warm up for just a second. Take a hit. You definitely get a lot more vapor with that. Still had very good flavor. Blue, I think, is my favorite one to hit flour on. But you know how I mentioned earlier that there's a boost mode? There's this boost mode that'll help you finish off your bowl or to finish it off quickly or just to boost it very quickly. We're most of the way through the sesh. You can see that the herb is getting pretty roasted here. Let's just do boost mode and cook the rest of the shit right up. You'll hold down the button until this starts blinking red. After about 3 seconds, it'll start blinking red, meaning boost mode has been activated. It will rapidly heat up to 437 degrees Fahrenheit and squeeze out any last bits of cannabinoids it can. It'll also boost you to outer space and will only stop if the sesh happens to time out or if you let go of the button. It does not stop the sesh once you let it go. It just goes right back down to its temperature. It takes a second to go back down to temperature, but like, wow. A few quick things to note. The new zirconia mouthpiece, I believe the 722 is actually plastic. This one here is this like stone. It's called zirconia. It dissipates heat very well. As long as you're not mouthing the whole thing, you're not really gonna feel any heat. If you just lip the tip, you're good to go. I think that should be the motto. Lip the tip, like this. You don't need to shove it in and like rest your face on this. That's gonna get very hot. I know most of y'all aren't doing that, but listen, I've had to correct a few people in person, so I just wanna make sure that you know. Don't do that. Don't deep throat it. Okay. I I had to take a break for a second. I was feeling relatively infused. We're back at it. Now we are going to switch to the wax cup. Now most dryer vapes will give you a mesh coil that you'll just plop down into the chamber, and they work. I almost wanted to say they're good. They get the job done, but they're not great. This is also an upgrade from the 722 model to the 723. This is included, and it's much more intentional about a dab in a vaporizer. This is the vapor cup, or the wax cup, that Utillian has for the 723. They also had it for the 621 that I reviewed a few weeks back. It's got its own deep well. It has its mesh coil pack, I'm assuming somewhere in the bottom here, but lots of airflow vents all the way throughout. This is a huge difference between what the other vaporizers have when they say they can do concentrate and what this one has. Now we kind of have to clean this up in order to switch it around. We're just going to take our brush that was included here, and I have right underneath here a little tray to catch it, and you're just gonna clean it up. There you go. Doing that regularly will keep the device cleaner for a lot longer, but I especially like to do it in between switching from herb to wax because I don't want there to be like little bits that get stuck in the wax cup. And then we're also going to need to dump this out. Here's where we ended up. Pretty dark actually, but I hit that boost mode for quite some time, probably a little bit longer than I should have. Save your AVB in a little jar. I have a video already up on the channel where I show you just a couple super easy ways to use your AVB. We go kind of a deeper dive into it, but you can see on top right here is what I just dumped in. It's not burnt at all. There are no black spots because it's convection. With convection, it's so hard to burn your herb. You can kind of push it a little bit further, extract even more cannabinoids out of it before it's like cashed out. With conduction, you'll notice that it'll burn on the edges a little bit before you can get to that point. For that especially, make sure you're saving it because you probably still have a decent amount of cannabinoids retained in the AVB. Today I have some live resin, RS11 or Rainbow Sherbet number 11. This stuff is killer. I've only tried it once. It's so damn good. I didn't realize I would like Rainbow Sherbet that much. All right, so we're gonna take our dab, probably about the size of or smaller than a grain of rice. I'm gonna go with like half of a grain of rice there. I know, super tiny dab, but you only wanna put in here what you're actually going to hit that sesh because dabs aren't, you could kill the sesh and still have some green in there and come back to it if it's flour, but dabs aren't really like that. They don't reheat very well. You can reheat them, but then they just taste like burnt smoke. There we go. There's our little juicy bit. It's very terpy. It doesn't taste electronic at all. It's not hot at all, again, on the lips. Like, it's such a comfortable, tasty dab, and it's something that you can actually sesh. What's glorious about this is it's a dab sesh. Dabbing gives me so much anxiety because you have to be so fast at it. Like, you have to have the whole setup together. You're timing, you're temping, you're making sure that you don't burn stuff. You're making sure you don't waste stuff. I inevitably drop something or I forget something at probably like 50% of the time. A dab sesh comes out like successful for me, which I just don't dab like that very often. I don't know, I would rather use something like this. It's completely effortless. There's no carb caps, there's no burning, it's never too hot, you always get tasty vapor, you're not gonna waste your supply. You're gonna have a much, much better experience with something like this, especially if you're just kind of like a rookie when it comes, or an amateur when it comes to dabbing. There's no water involved. It's just so easy. Let's put this in boost mode. Let's get another good cloud out of it real quick. It's not too hot. I just did the boost mode after seshing on red for a few minutes, and the straw is still comfortable and the device is actually still comfortable. It's not even as hot as other ones. Now the battery on this thing, it's nothing to write home about. It's not bad either. It actually has the same size battery that comes in the 621, which is a little bit smaller. So on the 621, you're said to get about 72 minutes of runtime. With this one, you're about to get 60 minutes of runtime. It is a little bit more robust, so because of that, you're going to get less sessions, but 60 minutes is still like 2 to 3 days of seshing. It's a 2300 milliamp built-in battery. It takes about 60 minutes from dead to fully charge to charge it, and they include that long ass cord. I'm so excited that they do that because other companies have been giving us these little shorty things, then telling us that we need to plug it into a wall, and what wall am I going to be able to reach with a cord this big? I can't. You'd have to charge it with a laptop or with a different cord, which then voids your warranty, but I don't know if there's even a way of checking that. Yeah, but they give you a 2-foot one, so you can plug it up, set it on your nightstand, set it on like a little side table there. Those are always near outlets. It does not have pass-through charging, which is when you can use it while it's charging, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think it would be weird to suck on an electronic device while it's plugged in. For some reason, something in my brain is telling me that that's dangerous and I will not do it. Maybe it's my OCD. Maybe it's a logical thought. That's what I think. It does have overcharge protection though. So as soon as it's charged up, it'll stop charging, which if you're somebody that likes to plug in your devices at night, that's good because it's not like you're gonna wake up and unplug it. Oh, to check the battery life, it's actually a little LED light on the bottom. You turn the device on and it will tell you what it's at. Green would be ideal. Green would be 60% or higher battery. Orange is 20 to 60% battery, and then red is under 20% battery. Now we're on to the last little bit that you need to know about the Utillian 723, how you're going to clean it and maintain it. I do suggest that you clean your devices at least once a week, even more often if you're a heavy user. And by heavy user, I say that you do more than 2 bowls a day. I would bet that you would need to clean this about every 15 bowls, which would last a week for me. If your herb is the sticky icky, it's going to get gunked up in here a little bit faster. You'll want to make sure you brush it clean between every bowl, and that'll keep it cleaner for longer. But when it inevitably gets a little bit gunked up, this is how you clean it. Cleaning it is super easy and you won't need many supplies. Just the brush it came with, some Q-tips, and iso alcohol or another glass cleaner of some sort. First, disassemble the device by removing the mouthpiece, zirconia straw, and screen and gasket. The stirring tool is helpful at debowling as well. Get all that nice AVB into your storage container for edibles another time and use the brush to dust all the herb bits out of the chamber and screen. Run an iso bath and drop the straw and screen in while we clean up the rest of this. Clean the air path in the mouthpiece with an iso dip Q-tip and do the same with the silicone gasket and the chamber and funnel area. Now let the pieces dry and reassemble. The straw clicks back onto the mouthpiece and the gasket holds onto the screen, then wraps around the vapor path opening. I like to do a quick burn off cycle to ensure the iso alcohol is all gone, then replace the mouthpiece and that's it. And guess what? It takes like 3 minutes. There you have it, friends. That's everything and anything that you need to know about the Utillian 723. If you have any questions, please drop them down below. Otherwise, check the pinned comment. I will have all of the information down below in the pinned comment. This is quite different from the Utillian 621. I'm gonna link that video here at the end of this one or up here in the cards. If you're in the market for a dry herb vaporizer, definitely check out either of them. Kind of compare those two because while they do have a lot of similarities, they also have so many differences, and then the price point is super different as well. And also a huge shout out to Utillian for partnering with me on today's video. This was quite a device to get to test out for you guys. So I thank them for allowing me to do that, and to all of you for hanging out. Please consider hitting subscribe before you leave. Huge shout out to all my patrons that make videos like this possible. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I am so ripped. I ended that so quickly because I am so incredibly high right now.